Jeremy, how did you first get involved in acting?
Uh, it was kind of like by accident. So before I wanted to do acting, I wanted to like write scripts and direct stuff. My friend who was an actor before, he did Lion King and like the West End. He sent me like an audition to do. Well, I thought it was an audition, but then it ended up being a TV show for Netflix called Heartstoppers. So we just shot season two from September to a little bit of October. Then we finished that.
And what was the character you played in that show?
I didn't get to play a character. That's the trick part. That's who sent me for the audition. So basically, for the show, I thought I was auditioning. So I sent a self tape anyways. That's when we sent a self tape. Then they brought me in for the first season and said, we'll sort something out with your character later. Nothing happened for that first season. Then I came for the second season and nothing still happened. So I kind of just, now I'm just an extra in the show. But I'm part of the extras in the main class, so I don't know why I'm still going anyways. This season we went to Paris. Well, I went to fake Paris. Everyone else went to real Paris because I had to be here. So what they did when I went to fake Paris is they put up LED screens, and then we're like in a coach, and then the LED screens were like mirroring like the streets of Paris, and they saw it at a certain angle. So when the audience is watching it, they're gonna think, oh, we're in Paris watching a certain thing. But it made me kind of sick as well because the bus is standing still and you're kind of seeing the screen go past.
So what happened after that?
For me right now, I think I need to find a new agent. That's my priority right now. I talked to this guy called Tom Mucci. He's done like a couple of TV shows with BBC and Channel 4, and he said to me what they look for, or what they look for first is self tapes, what you've done in the past. Even if what you've done in the past isn't substantial, just make sure the self tape is good enough. Don't do a self tape that a lot of people have done because you look generic. And then he said, look for agents that represent you or represent people like you, or might have a gap for people like you to come in. So I had two agents at the start of last year, and then I was with them for a while, and she didn't give me any work, so I had to leave the agency and stick with this one. But this one's kind of just giving me extra work, so it's a thing where I have to move on if I want to try and get big within my career.
So the second agent, did you get any paid work out of that arrangement?
They said a Courage PC World advert, so they drove me to London, and I went into a studio, and then I think they had like a mix up, so they called me and someone else at the same time, so they had to choose between me and the other person. So they went into a room, looked at the self tapes, they came back out and said, oh, I can go home, but I still got somewhat paid for it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a waste of time. That's the point when I was like, what am I really doing here? It was wasting my time basically. Both my agents take different cuts of the fee. So one will take 25%, one will take 15%, and then plus they'll take an annual fee from the work you've done. So one has an annual fee of like £50, and then the other one has an annual fee of 150. So if I'm paying 150 and not getting any work for the whole year, that's coming out of my pocket.
Sure.
Money I don't have to give you. So I have to change. Recently, I've been just getting people hitting me up for modelling and stuff, but I'm not. It's kind of a thing where you have to filter out what you actually want to do, because if you don't have like a focus of what you really want to do, you'll just be going everywhere. So I've had this one friend, he's a TikToker, so he said he really wants to act, but he does a lot of things. So he'll present one day, then he'll act one day, then he'll do music another day, then he'll do modelling another day. By the time I say let's act, he's busy doing 3 other things. So you have to focus on one thing. I'm kind of here to learn like what it takes behind camera, and how if I can like, because I want to become a director obviously. So if I know what happens behind the camera, I know what happens in front of the camera, it's easier for me to speak to everyone on set saying da 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 da. We can flow through like things easily. So yeah, that's the kind of thing where I'm at right now.
I went for a course once on acting for directors. I found it really useful to suddenly have to act, to improvise a scene, something I thought I'd never do. Where would you say your strongest ambition at this point is, in front of the camera or behind the camera?
Uh, my strongest ambition, I find things behind the camera a bit struggling, but a bit hard to do. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, it's like writing for me, writing TV shows for me is easy. It's pitching them that's harder to people because you have to pitch an idea that maybe it's been done a couple of times, but you have to put your own spin on the idea. But for me, my hugest ambition right now is to get better at acting. To be honest, because I kind of watch my peers, and they're getting better. Obviously, because what they did, they went to acting schools. I came here to learn about what happens behind the camera. So I'm taking a backseat when it comes to acting right now, so I can learn what happens behind the camera.
Great. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.